Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Kenilworth Road. We are underway now for the game between Luton and Brentford. Luton trailing here by 2-0 with 2 goals from Johan Wissa. A lovely strike, hitting it on the run, curling it past the keeper from the edge of the area to put Brentford 1 up, and then the slightly more ugly goal in terms of the finish from Wissa, but he certainly won't care. He was able to get the ball over the line after a cross low in from the right-hand side. And Luton have it all to do with, but Brentford straight away on the attack. Here comes Damsgaard with the ball into the box from the right-hand side, quickly swept away, and it's out for a corner kick to Brentford inside the first 30 seconds of the second half. Brentford trying to carry on where they left off in the first half. They really were the better side in the last 15 or 20 minutes, and Luton have got to respond. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Steve Pearson taking through the action. And Steve, Brentford trying to increase their lead straight away here.
Yeah, absolutely. No messing around, is it? Straight onto the front foot, down that right-hand side to try and find that space. And found it as well, yet again, out wide, as you say. I know Luton will allow you some of that space, but there's too much of it, and too much of it one-on-one for me in this Luton defence.
Here comes the corner kick. It's an outswinger from Jensen. Good header away at the edge of the box. It looks like it was Mengi that got his head to that. Trying to keep it in play here for Brentford. Down the left is Ethan Pinnock, still been put under pressure there by Osho. He runs it out of play, does he? I think he does. Yeah, it's going to be a throw to Luton on the right-hand side. Just to tell you, there was a change for Luton at half-time. Reece Burke has been replaced by Luke Berry. So it looks like Luton have gone to a flat back four with Kaminski in goal, a back four of Freddie Onyedema, who came on in the first half of Kabore. Then it's Teden Mengi and Gabriel Osho as the two centre-backs, with Alfie Doherty on the left-hand side. The three in midfield will be Albert Sambi Lakonga, Luke Berry and Ross Barkley. And the three up front, Jordan Clark, Tati Chong and Carlton Morris. With Brentford, no changes at half-time. Mark Flecken in goal, a back three of Christopher Ayer, Ethan Pinnock and Nathan Collins. The wide men are Keane-Lewis Potter and Sergio Regulion. Three in midfield, Matthias Jensen, Vitaly Janelt and Mikael Damsgaard. Bryan Mbeumo and Johan Wissa are up front, and Brentford are on the attacking end. Wissa finding Mbeumo. He was at the edge of there. He thought about the shot, couldn't quite get a shot away. He finds Lewis Potter down the left-hand side. Here comes an overlap from Jensen. Jensen's ball in. It misses Mbeumo. Then Damsgaard tries to flick it up at the edge of the 6-yard box before it's cleared. And then Morris trying to take the ball down here for Brentford, but Collins wins it straight back. Brentford consented that Luton are on the ropes, and Collins now breaking towards the edge of the area. It's Wissa's ball into Mbeumo, but the ball just wouldn't sit up from there. Osho getting in the way, and Kaminski can pick the ball up. But Luton need a timeout inside the first couple of minutes here, you feel?
Yeah, it's got a very frantic start defensively from Luton at the moment. Really good pressure from Brentford. Quick play, quick feet, causing problems. As Chong does exactly the same at the other end of the field. He's brought down for a Luton Town free kick, 30 yards from goal. It's going to be a yellow card as well, issued by the referee. I think that's towards Damsgaard, and no surprise really, as Chong had beaten him before he was brought down. But yeah, very positive start from Brentford. What you'd kind of hoped for from a Brentford point of view is that they would go at it and not just try and sit back and soak things up, which is what they've done. Try and look for a killer third goal in this sense to take any impetus out of this Luton side. And the first couple of minutes they've done well, but chance here from a set piece, which obviously opens the door.
It certainly does. It's going to be Alfie Doherty with the free kick, and there's also been a goal at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United are back in it against Burnley. Gustavo Hamer with the goal, but we'll see this free kick from Doherty now from the left-hand side. As options inside the options at the edge of the area, I should say. Brentford are trying to play the offside. Luke Berry has deliberately stood in an offside position just as this free kick is about to be taken. And the referee keeping an eye on everything as players jostle for position. But it's Doherty's ball in just a little bit too low, I think, and it's flicked away by Janelt. There's still a bouncing ball. Janelt gets his head to that as well. It's put back into the box. Then Janelt claiming that he was pushed as he tried to get up in the air. The referee agrees there was a bit of a challenge there in the back from Luke Berry, although Luke Berry, no surprise, doesn't agree with that at all. And it will be a free kick to Brentford. We'll just see from this replay. He nudges Janelt in the back, but Janelt makes the most of it as well, which I suppose in that position, if you're the defending midfielder there, you'd expect him to.
Absolutely. You know, why do anything else in that sense? They'll make the most of it. But as you said, the ball from Doherty looked a little low, but actually if you look at Janelt there, did really well, because there were 3 Luton players coming in behind him who would have all had an opportunity had he not got his foot to the ball. So although it was a little lower, I think, than Luton wanted, it nearly created something out of it as Morris gets rattled from behind as Luton come forward.
Yeah, it's an advantage played here by referee Jared Gillet. It's down the left-hand side here for Luton, and it's with Tati Chong. Plays a quick flick there towards Doherty. He gets brought down at the edge of the area. The referee says no free kick. The Luton players and the fans there on that side of the ground certainly wanted one, but here come Brentford now with the ball, finding Yohan Wissa, and there are Luton players back. Well, Wissa's going forward. He's got Potter in front of him. He's got Mbeumo square here on the right-hand side. That's where the ball has gone. And Mbeumo then holds it up. He finds Damsgaard. There's an overlap here from Aya, but he plays the ball into the box here for Damsgaard. He's got 3 players around him, Mikael Damsgaard, just about able to hold them off. And Mbeumo then goes on the overlap himself, but Damsgaard tries to get a ball. He does get a ball into the penalty area. It's headed away by Onyedima before it's finally brought out of the box here by Lokonga. But Brentford still putting pressure here on Luton. Chong and Lokonga exchanging passes, and they do get the ball away here eventually for the home side. But that's a terrible ball from Lokonga. I mean, there is a runner there down the right-hand side for Luton in Jordan Clark, but really, I mean, in actual fact, looking at that, I mean, it's worked out all right for Luton, because I thought Flecken had more than enough time to do something with it. He just lets it go out for a throw, so potentially Luton could still send a few players up here and put a bit of pressure on.
Yeah, as you say, it's not a great ball forward. He sees the space down the right-hand side. That's acceptable. It is there to try and chase down, but as you say, massively overhit in terms of the ball forward from a Luton point of view. And you look at those 2 challenges, good advantage played by the referee on the halfway line to allow the break, even though Morris had clearly been fouled. And then second one really looked like Doherty was going down already before the challenge came in. He was looking for contact that never really came in that sense, and therefore it's not a free kick for me. There may be some contact with Doherty, but I think he was looking for it anyway, even though Clark will continue to have a good whinge about the fact that it wasn't given, because he's now given away a free kick. A goal at the top of the towards the top end of the Championship, by the way. Could be an important one, because Norwich have gone 1-0 down at home against Bristol City in the battle for the playoffs. Yes, absolutely. It's still, so no, it's been an unbelievable season in the Championship. Bristol City have actually upset a couple of other teams' runs towards promotion towards the end of this season as well. They're just a little bit too far away to have a run at the playoffs themselves this season. But it's a long clearance now from Flecken after that foul from Jordan Clark, aimed at Wissa, headed forward here by Teden Mengi. That's good work there from Berry to keep Luton in possession on the halfway line. He plays it back towards Jordan Clark. He was under a bit of pressure, but he's able to use the support of Gabriel Osho down the left-hand side. He has Doherty right on the left wing, and that's where the ball has gone. Doherty and Chong exchanging passes, but the pass from Chong towards Doherty is just a little bit overhit, and that is straight out for a Brentford throw. Luton just looking a little bit disjointed this afternoon. And so they'll just say that Brentford have cleared the ball aimlessly, and Luton have won it back here in midfield. It's with Ross Barkley, who's been a little bit too anonymous for my liking this afternoon. Ross Barkley, it's always a bad sign, I think, if there's a central midfielder that doesn't see too much of the ball. But that's good work from Jordan Clark to keep Luton in possession just in front of the Brentford penalty area. It's with Chong down the left now into Doherty. Clark again, back towards Teden Mengi, who's approaching as if he wanted to shoot from distance. He just goes square, and under pressure there, Onyedima having to play it back in towards Ross Barkley. With Wissa putting pressure on him. Then he finds a good pass down the left here for Chong, and Chong's ball into the box. It's a low cross. That's good defending though there from Vitaly Janelt back in his own penalty area, and it's out for a Luton corner. Yeah, did well, Berry, coming across from one side to the other, looking for space in the area, but 2 defenders across quickly to make the challenge. Strange ball in by Chong really, because it was into a decent area, but there was nobody really there until Berry made that long run, and it gave plenty of time for the defenders to cover. So a bit of an odd choice from Chong on that occasion, but at least it sort of sets up the set piece for Luton. It does indeed, and so there's plenty of activity inside this Brentford penalty area. There's an out-swinging corner straight onto the head of Nathan Collins. Brentford defender heads it out, but it's back with Doherty. Gets a quick ball from Lokonga. It's Doherty lifting a really high ball into the box this time, but it's not too much power on that. Flecken's able to get himself into position and make a comfortable save. Yeah, very comfortable catch, wasn't it? You say far too much height on it. They were looking to get it well past the far post, and then look at the players who were in that kind of area, but with that much lift on it gives the goalkeeper plenty of time to get over as Burnley go 3-1 up, re-establish their 2-goal lead. Lyle Foster has scored for Burnley, and Norwich with an instant response against Bristol City in the Championship. Norwich 1, Bristol City 1. Yeah, Lyle Foster with a rare goal for Burnley. It's not really worked out for him this season. He's had injury problems as well, in fairness, but I think that considering just how good Burnley were last season, I think quite a few of their fans would have been disappointed with just how flat and just how off the pace they've been this season in the Premier League. But as Brentford win themselves a free kick just inside the Luton half.
In fact, the referee is unhappy with where Regulion wanted to take this free kick from, so just corrects him by a yard or two. But it's certainly close enough to think about a cross. It's very wide here. It's probably about 40 yards from goal, but it's pretty much on the left touchline. Regulion is standing over it. Luton have set up at the edge of the area with their offside. Plenty of Brentford players forward for this one as Regulion lifts an arm up and then lifts the ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed down by Aya, but it never looked like it was going on target. He's trying to just get himself into position there. In fact, it may have been Nathan Collins, another tall Brentford centre-back that finally gets his head to it, but it's wide. In any case, 55 minutes gone and still Luton 0, Brentford 2.
Yeah, as you say, decent ball into the area, but it's just a kind of percentage play, isn't it, really, to try and see if they can get something from it, but header well wide in the end. But at the moment, it's good from Brentford for couple of minutes. Last couple of minutes, you kind of thought Luton were getting back into it, getting a bit of possession, moving forward, causing some problems for the Brentford side. But since then, really, it's gone a little bit slow from Luton. Brentford have got themselves back together again from a midfield point of view. Nice try by Luton to try and pick up a ball 10 yards, 15 yards further down from where the actual throw-in should have been taken, to try and take it from there. But nevertheless, referee spotted it and brought them back. Much to the annoyance of those in the crowd, obviously, at Kenilworth Road, but absolutely the right decision.
It is the right decision, but as I say, so the Luton fans, no football fans are shy in sharing their opinion if they're unhappy, but Luton in particular is one of those old grounds where you can almost high-five the winger as he runs past you. You're that close to the pitch, so certainly a couple of the locals there are making their opinions felt there, particularly towards the linesman as Brentford go on the attack. It's a good ball in towards Johan Wissa, but it's also well marshalled by Sambi Lokonga. Well, it's initially well marshalled by Sambi Lokonga. He does well to stop Johan Wissa, but he stopped him at the edge of the area, Steve. He just runs the ball all the way to the line and then lets it go out for a corner.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. It was almost like he forgot who he did touch last, because he, as you say, he seemed to have time. At least couldn't do much with it. It wasn't like he was going to be. It was far too risky to try and control it and turn away. But he should have just hooked it out for a throw in.
As I say, the throw-on was always on for him there. There was no pressure for him to be forcing to give away a corner.
Something throw-in, long throw from Brentford that's been particularly good this season? I don't think so. But
no, if anything, they haven't employed the long throw as much this season. Have Brentford, but they've got themselves a corner pretty much as a gift. It's an outswinger from Regulion. It's not a good one either. It's easily dealt with at the edge of the 6-yard box, hooked up in the air by Lewis Potter. Again, that wasn't particularly good either. And Sambi Lokonga with a much better header this time back into midfield as Damsgaard. He tends to be the last man back for Brentford with these set pieces, doing his best to keep it in play. Couldn't manage it and actually ran into the advertising boards. Gets a helping hand there from Jordan Clark, but it's Luton have taken the throw on quickly, and it's a long ball over the top now from Ted and Mengi. It's a really good one as well to pick out Chong. He's got an overlap from Doherty, but Chong goes alone down the left-hand side, gets to the penalty area. Now he finds Doherty. The ball just eludes him, and it also eludes Clark inside the penalty area. Luton's final ball into the box has really been lacking this afternoon, but that's great work there from Chong to track back and dispossess Bryan Mbeumo. He gets away from Mikkel Damsgaard as well. And now it's Barkley square to Sambi Lokonga. Onyedima joining the attack down the right-hand side. He gets to the area, he puts a cross in, which is initially stopped by Lewis Potter, then hooked up in the air by Janelt. Still some work for Brentford to do in midfield, and Wissa, he does well to win that ball away from Ted and Mengi, but he's all alone inside the Luton half. He needs some support. He's getting support now from Lewis Potter, from Damsgaard and from Mbeumo. Wissa's doing it all alone for the time being. Then he finds Damsgaard. Damsgaard goes for goal. It's a good save from Kaminski, and he just gets there ahead of the rebound from Lewis Potter was chasing him down, but Kaminski dives on the ball to stop any rebound. Well, that was a good counter from Brentford after what looked like a decent attack from Luton.
Yeah, again, it was that space on the left-hand side as they cut inside from a Luton point of view that created opportunities for Chong, but then he got blocked out of it. Too many players around. Again, maybe a wrong choice on the edge of the penalty area. But then Brentford, as we've seen numerous times, aren't they, the masters of the transition in that sense, raced downfield and created the opportunity. Wissa waited and waited, had time to do so as well. Again, it should have been closed down, should have been taken out of the game in that sense. I don't mean in terms of a foul, it's been taken out of it from having any options inside him, but that wasn't the case from a Luton point of view. And then a really good save from Kaminski, because the shot from Damsgaard had plenty of power on it.
It certainly did. Luton now responding with a bit of attacking possession themselves. It's Freddie Onyedima's cross into the box, which is charged down. And then as he tries to win the ball back there for Luton, just a little bit too physical. And eventually gives the free kick away. It was a foul on Matthias Jensen. Brentford will be very happy to take that free kick. I mean, it's nothing in that at all. Jensen effectively just stopped as he felt the opposition player coming towards him, and then Onyedinma actually touched Jensen in the back, and the referee bought it. I mean, it wasn't a foul at all, really.
No, it must be very windy in that part of the ground. Let's put it that way. He's just in the but again, it's one of those, isn't it? Again, he stops, as you say, runs into the back. From the referee's point of view, it looks like he's gone in and pushed him. You see it from the other angle. He clearly hasn't, and it's very frustrating and disappointing from that side of things. If you want to move the game forward in terms of technology, make it so you can tell how much pressure is put on a shirt to know whether or not you've been pushed.
Well, absolutely.
There's a good bit of technology you could bring in.
Goodness me, imagine the technical review of that. It would take about half an hour, wouldn't it? But in the meantime, Brentford have pushed forward, and they've won themselves a corner kick as well. This will be a worry for Luton. That's with 15, 16 minutes into this second half, Brentford is still finding a lot of space, a lot of ease in getting towards the Luton penalty area. And you certainly feel as though a third Brentford goal is more likely in this game so far than a goal back in for Luton. Certainly based on the first 15, 16 minutes of this second half. But we've got a corner kick for Brentford now on the left-hand side. Collins and Ayer and Pinnock are up for this one again. It's going to be an out-swinging corner off the left foot of Sergio Regulion. There's a lot of activity inside the box, so a bit more height on this one. It's a header towards goal, and it's in the back of the net. It's the returning Ethan Pinnock. You could just see as soon as he jumped for it, nobody from Luton was going to get near him, and it's at the perfect angle just inside the post. And Brentford wrapping things up after 62 minutes.
Yeah, simple, wasn't it? Absolutely simple. As you say, Pinnock has been sort of floating around in that kind of area a couple of times. Ball hasn't gone into to his area as the ball has come across from either side. But on that occasion, just gets in front of the defender, gets plenty of power on the header. Credit to him as well for the effort to get in there and to get the kind of power on it that means Kaminsky's got no chance at all. But, you cannot be conceding that easily from a corner. He just moves away in, sees it there, into that area, holds off the defender. There's not enough power on it from Osho to make sure he gets there first. And Pinnock is just in there with the header. As I said, nice ball in, whipped in, gives him something to attack, doesn't it? But you look at it again. Okay, he's a little bit lucky because the first player misses it from a Luton point of view as he's trying to get there, Morris, but behind him, Osho has got to be first man to that ball.
What I don't get is that the first thing that happens when that ball hits the back of the net, Osho puts his arms up to his teammates like, well, what was that? And his teammates can turn around and say, it was you. You need to stop him from jumping, or at least do something to make it a little bit more difficult. But, that's been and gone, unfortunately, for Luton Town. We've got just under half an hour to play now. Brentford are 3-0 up. And as I say, Luton are just falling away and just having some really sort of basic mistakes and a sort of lack of confidence at the worst possible time this season.
And again, it comes back to the, injury-wise, you've not maybe got the players that you want in there. You've not got the sort of setup that you would like to have from Rob Edwards' point of view. But as you said, that's basics. That's one-on-one play, isn't it, between a defender and an attacker in that sense in terms of Pinnock. But the reality is it's one-to-one play. You've got to be better than the person you're marking. It's not about tactics or anything else. The question again is how many corners and set pieces are they giving away as well here, Luton, that Brentford are then profiting from?
Well, no, absolutely. As I say, I mean, that last goal there pretty much is a bad goal conceded in any league. It doesn't have to be in the Premier League. If you conceded that goal in League 1 or 2, you'd be asking, well, why isn't the defender doing more to stop Pinnock there? But Brentford back on the attack here now, down the right-hand side with Ayer and Mbeumo. Mbeumo back to Ayer. His ball into the box is too low. It's swept away, but only towards the edge of the area. Brentford have a second chance in, potentially. That is until Chong gets his head in the way. Brentford win it back here in midfield with Damsgaard. He flicks the ball over the top for Mbeumo, who stabs it across the 6-yard box. Lewis Potter is there, and Brentford have a fourth goal. But once again, the Luton defence are static here, and this is turning into a bit of a rout. Luton have got to do something to arrest this because it's just far too easy. Brentford are finding space. Even when the first cross into the box is cleared, it's only cleared straight to a Brentford player on the right-hand side. And once again, there were enough numbers in the box there, Steve, for Luton to deal with that, but they don't.
Absolutely. They've got defenders again. Nobody picks up the runner from Mbeumo. It's a nice little interplay down that right-hand side. You give them credit for that at Brentford, but there's plenty of defenders around to pick up runners. They don't do so. And I'm just trying to see who the person is who I'm really going to have a go at on the far post, because I couldn't quite see who it was with the players coming across. But Lewis Potter's coming in on the far post. Again, there's defenders around at the far post that don't take proactive action. They don't get involved. Yeah, Chong gives the ball away, sloppy inside. Then there's a good run from Mbeumo. You give him that, ball breaks down, but you've got to deal with it. Far post. Defender, is it on Onyedinma?
I think it might be on Onyedinma. We'll just see from the replay again. But it's the ball across from Mbeumo it bounces. I mean,
what's he waiting for?
He's goal.
What is he waiting for?
And the thing about that I don't understand is that what you would tell anybody in that position from under 8 upwards is get goal side. He is goal side. He's in the right position, but he still lets that ball go behind him for the smaller player to just flick a header and over the line. That is not good from Onyedinma. And Lewis Potter, well, I'm not surprised there's a sort of his hands to his ears in the celebration, because he has had a little bit of grief for some of his play in previous games. But you've got to say he's had a good game this afternoon. Brentford having a great game. We're getting word of an even better afternoon potentially for Burnley. They're going to get a 4th goal at Bramall Lane. Nightmare there for Sheffield United, but Luton have responded here. They've won themselves a corner down the left-hand side. It's damage limitation now for the Hatters. Just to remind you, their next game is away to Wolves, and then they're at home to Everton, away to West Ham, and they end the season at home to Fulham. So there are still points to be had for Luton, but if they're playing like this, they're really going to struggle.
Yeah, and the other side of it as well, it takes some goals away, doesn't it, from the goal difference as well. When you're getting a bit of a hiding, you're now 12 goals behind Forest and Everton with these extra 4. All right, 8's enough. I'm not suggesting it probably isn't anyway. But if a team above you gets into a bit of a bad run and you're trying to pull up, you don't want to be that many goals behind, because that's an extra point on top of it, isn't it, between them and the team above them in that sense. So yeah, very damaging afternoon potentially this for Luton, and some of that damage, as we've said, I'm afraid to say, self-inflicted.
Oh, it is, absolutely, and certainly from Brentford's point of view, they've done what they've needed to today, coming here with an attack mindset and picking up on these mistakes that Luton have made, as the home side now pushing forward down the right, and it is Freddie Onyedinma. Perhaps he can make up for the mistake in defence by starting something in attack. He plays a quick ball in towards Jordan Clark, who goes down at the edge of the area. I don't think there was enough for a foul, and the ball is only partially clear, but Brentford keep it in play. It is with Lewis Potter. Drops the shoulder, gets away from Jordan Clark, plays it back in towards Janelt, and now it's Sergio Regulion. Makes Jordan Clark, and finds Damsgaard here in midfield. Back towards the edge of the area as the visitors looking very comfortable on the ball here now. A ball put through the middle now, and it's a good ball as well to find Lewis Potter. He's got support here from Mbeumo. He just chooses to hold it up here, though. There's Lewis Potter, and he gets fouled, says the referee. I didn't think there was too much in that from Onyedinma. There obviously was enough contact there for the referee to decide that it should be a free kick. Yeah,
absolutely. It didn't look too much, as you say. It looked a little bit soft in the end. But Lewis Potter, again, it just feel like he's got to get his head up a little bit earlier and get it out to Mbeumo. There is a bit of a battle going on there with Onyedinma.
I suppose at one point it was holding him too much.
Yes, but it's, how much do you want to play on, really? But more important, as I say, had he got the ball out to Mbeumo down that right-hand side, he was driving into the area, into a massive open space. So you've got to look at it that way as well, as important goal at the bottom end of the Championship. Swansea have gone 1-0 up against Huddersfield with about 20 minutes left to go in that game, and I can't remember now. Did we say it was Cardiff 1, Southampton 1 as well?
Big equaliser, yeah, it is a big equaliser that for Cardiff. Certainly, that's certainly going to derail the plans that Southampton had to try and be there or thereabouts for automatic promotion towards the end of the season. They need to win all their games, and it's actually worth remembering that one of Southampton's games is away to Ipswich or away to Leicester. Away to Leicester,
and Leeds as well to play.
They've got to play Leeds on the last day of the season. So as I say, it's been a fascinating season in the Championship, and Brentford now with this free kick. It's a poor one from Jensen, not enough height on that one. It's played towards the edge of the area. Regulion takes it down here for Brentford. It's crossed in by Lewis Potter, headed up in the air by, I think it was Carlton Morris, still inside his own penalty area, before it's played down the left here for Tati Chong. He's trying to start a counter here. He's brought down by Christopher Ayer. Ayer's now shouting here at Tati Chong that he's exaggerating the contact, which I think Ayer needs to just rein that in a little bit. There was enough to give a free kick away, and also a couple of Ayer's teammates have certainly milked contact this afternoon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If we look at the context of the game, there was enough in it. There wasn't much in it, to be fair to Ayer. He's got a point in that sense, but he got on the wrong side of the player, didn't he? And therefore initiated the contact, which is always going to be the problem. Looks like a change here for Brentford and one for Luton. Andros Townsend, well, it might just be a bit of discussion actually on that near side, but Andros Townsend, at least one of those coming on for Luton as well.
It's like Dyson Hashioka is the other one getting ready to come on for Luton. Daiki Hashioka, I should say. He's the one, of course, who was very unfortunate in conceding that own goal in midweek. But Brentford now, last week I should say, but Brentford now trying to win the ball back here in midfield. It's with Luke Berry now here for Luton, in towards Ross Barkley. And Under pressure there from Matthias Jensen, and it's played back towards Ted and Mengi. Now he tries a long direct ball over the top. It's a really good one to pick out. It's a pick out Carlton Morris. I don't think he expected that pass to be as good as it was, and as he was running, the ball's just sort of deflected off his shin unexpectedly and gets away from him. But that was actually a really good chance for the Luton number 9. But we're over the 3-quarter mark in the game now. 70 minutes gone. It is Luton 0, Brentford 4, and it will be Steve to take us through to full time.
Yes, thanks, Paul. We'll see if there's any light for Luton, but there's not too much at all at the moment. Brentford dominating, well on top on the scoreboard, well on top in terms of the pattern of play as well, as we try and make out the board in front of us. I've no idea what that red number says on there with the sunshine on it.
Energy saving batteries
haven't
in
got
that
a clue.
board, aren't there? You can't make it out. But I did see a 14 and a 30, I think. There's no...
Do you think? Right, okay.
There's no forward. Well, Tati Chong would be one player. That would make sense. Sambi Lokonga, I think, is the other one.
Is certainly one of
so,
them,
yeah,
yes.
so Townsend is on. And I think he's on for Jordan Clark. Just wait to see whether the other... We'll get confirmation now. It is Chong and Sambi Lokonga. They're the two players getting the hook. And it is going to be Hashioka to come on for Sambi Lokonga and Townsend to come on for Clark. For Chong, I should say.
And a change as well for Luton as Norgard...
for Brentford, yeah.
Brentford, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a double change. Damsgaard and Lewis Potter both coming off here now.
Yeah, and... Norgard is the first one
Kevin
to come on.
Schade.
Kevin Schade is the other one to make an appearance as well this afternoon. So a flurry of changes all coming in together for both sides, 2 for each. And we will continue on with just less than 20 minutes to go. And a Brentford free kick launched long downfield. Should be too long. Ashioka gets to it, but not properly cleared. It does now spin away on the right-hand side. Ashioka can't get there. Schade is in for the challenge, but actually there's a handball decision already in the earlier connection from a Brentford player. Not exactly sure where. We didn't see a close-up. Referee, though, was right on it and gave the decision to the home side. So a free kick to come then for Kaminski, just outside his own penalty area. Right-footed, high downfield. Will look for Morris again. Goes right over his head, past Townsend. Almost ends up falling for Berry on the edge of the penalty area before it's cleared away. Not back in. Morris is in there. Berry tries to push it back into the path of Morris, but he got shepherded away from that area, and therefore he couldn't get back into possession. But at least Luton in possession, in an attacking position as the ball comes back to Barkley. He's under pressure though, ball taken off him, and Luton trying to scamper back quickly as Brentford tried to find Mbeumo down that right-hand side again. No way out forward. Osho tidies up, but he's forced all the way back by Mbeumo. Good work from him. Osho needs support behind him. Has to go right back into his own half, and eventually the ball is out of play as Clark can't keep it in. Rolls over the sideline, and therefore it will be a throw-in to Brentford. And Rob Edwards turns away, shakes his head, looks up at the sky. He knows it's just been one of those afternoons for his side. There is plenty to work on from this game, and more injury problems with Kabore going off early on. Reece Burke, we don't know whether that was injury or tactical at half-time. We think it was tactical, so we presume he is okay. But certainly Kabore went off with an ankle injury as the train's taken short. Regulion chips the ball in. Header comes in. Great save from Kaminski again on this occasion. Christopher Ayer finding space again inside the penalty area, driving in for the header. Got it down, and it's a fabulous save from Kaminski again to his right-hand side. It was just bending in the top corner, but Kaminski's got his hand on it. He actually got in front of Collins, did Ayer. Really good header, really good save.
It is. I mean, I can't say that Ayer meant to have put so much of an angle and so much spin on that header, but that's exactly how it ended up coming out. As another cross comes in from the left-hand side this time, it's only partially clear, but Luton now have a chance to counter.
Yeah, they do. Schade can't take possession of it. That's a poor ball, though, forward again, and it's tidied up by Brentford as they get the numbers back defensively and manage to pick up possession with their keeper Flecken. Ball downfield comes straight to Luton again. Barkley's battling for it. He manages to get back to his feet and keep possession of it under pressure from Vitaly Janelt. Ball worked across to the right hand side for Luton to drive forward up towards the corner of the penalty area. The cross is charged down. Will it stay in? Yes, it has. On that far side of the field, it's hooked away by Regulion. Still not properly clear, but eventually Brentford find themselves a bit of space down the left-hand side. Schade is going to try and drive down. He feels contact from the defender, goes to ground, looks for a free kick. Referee in a good position, says no, nothing to come from that. 75 minutes gone, Brentford leading by 4-0 in this game. Burnley also 4 goals against Sheffield United. They lead by 4-1 at the top of the Championship. In the battle for promotion, it's Cardiff 1, Southampton 1 after Leicester's 2-1 victory over West Brom at dinner time. Here's Barkley, plays the ball square again, looking for Clark, who gets possession, but they doesn't really have an easy ball. Looks Ashioka down that right-hand side. Challenge comes in, ball breaks away again for Clark again, but he can't get a shot in, and Brentford might be able to break here down their right-hand side. Norgard, off the bench a few minutes ago, will roll the ball towards the penalty area, doesn't get enough on it, and then Visser just catches the ankles of Osho as he comes across, and it will be a free kick. Visser looks up, says,
yes,
ref,
he's got that what me look about him there, but it clearly was definitely, there's not too much, but it's enough to say that it would have been a free kick there to Luton. 15 minutes to go, and as I say, this is where Rob Edwards is really going to have to earn his money, is how he picks his side up after a defeat like this. As Mads Roslev is getting ready to come on, it's replacing here Christopher Ayer.
Yeah, another change for fresh legs, give somebody a little bit of game minutes into them. Roslev onto the field. Ayer, having done his job this afternoon, takes a bit of a breather for the last 15 minutes of the game, 14 minutes to be specific, plus whatever the referee adds on, of course. The ball long downfield then from Kaminski from the free kick. It's tidied up though by Jensen, back to his goalkeeper. Eventually it's cleared away downfield up towards the halfway line. Bit of head tennis on that halfway line, but eventually Norgard calms things down, pulls the ball backwards, and Brentford will have possession deep inside their own half of the field. Not the best ball forward, but somehow manages to find Jensen again. Brentford back towards their own half of the field as Jensen drives forward. Left-footed chip ball over the top, looking for the Schade. On this occasion, though, Ashioka does well. Wins the ball back for his side and keeps possession. Oh dear, terrible mistake by Mengi. Falls over the ball. Ball breaks for Visser, but Mengi's there, fortunately, from his point of view, to tidy up. Almost a fatal mistake there in terms of the Luton defender, but he gets away with it. Jan Visser just unable to turn back inside and get himself the space to get a shot in on goal, and perhaps seal a hat-trick for himself this afternoon. Luton tidy up back into defence. They may be forced all the way back to Kaminski, although Osho decides instead to play it long. It's well over the head though, and anybody in an orange shirt goes all the way through to Flecken. He will come out of his area and then wander back in with the ball at his feet. This would be a 21st defeat of the season for Luton, equaling the club record that they've done a couple of times in the top flight a long time ago. It shows you the scale of the challenge that they have as Roslev tries to play a ball forward. Not the best one though, and it goes straight back to Mengi, who will drop it in. Brentford have won 6 of the past 7 meetings between these two sides. Luton's last league win against Brentford in the past 19 years was won in February 2020, so they don't have a particularly good record against Brentford coming into this game, and so it has proved the history has been reflected by the performance so far in the game. As Mbeumo is away again down the right hand side. Can he get the ball under control? He does, but Osho is back with him. He turns back inside, gets a shot in through the legs of Osho, but quickly Kaminski is down to his left.
Yeah, he wanted to surprise Kaminski there by firing towards that post there, but you can see an exasperated look on Johan Wisser's face. He's chasing his hat-trick, and he would have hoped that perhaps Mbeumo could have played it square to him.
Yeah, certainly looks like he should have done. Sorry, defensively, if he had just chested the ball first time better into his path, and Mbeumo to drive forward, he would have had a really good opportunity down the right-hand side of the penalty area, but just couldn't quite get it under control. But forward come Brentford again. They win the ball back here. Schade into the penalty area, into the near post of Visser. It's pushed away by Kaminski. Does really well, the keeper, to stop Visser's hat-trick as Ashioka will pick it up again. Can he keep it in play? Has he kept it in play? No, he hasn't. Flag is up on the far side, and therefore it will be out of play for a Brentford throw-in deep inside the Luton half. But again, it's poor play from Luton, slack play, giving the ball away a couple of times, really. Schade did really well driving into the area. Played the right ball in towards Visser, didn't he? But Kaminski just did really well.
He did, yeah. It was a good sliding challenge there from Kaminski to stop that run. We're going to see a change here for Luton Town now as well. It's a player that we mentioned in the first half, Peli Mapanzu, who's been at Luton Town since National League days. Really is great to see that players who were with Luton at that level are still playing for them now in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. Taken plenty of people with them on the journey, both supporters and players through that period of time. So the ball is back in defence with Brentford. Side who've taken plenty of players and supporters with them through a run through the leagues, of course, as well as ball given away on this occasion. Mengi drives towards the penalty area. That's support from Dimmer down that left-hand side. He tries a little step over to get some space. He keeps Jensen away from the ball, but then he's forced himself out of the penalty area by other defenders. Still keeps possession, though. 10 minutes left to go. Brentford leading by 4-0. Luton just looking for a little bit of a corrector in terms of the goal difference, at least, if nothing else. They look to make more changes here from the bench. There's been a second goal, by the way, for Swansea at Huddersfield to make it 2-0. Huddersfield 0, Swansea 2. Important goal in the relegation places. And Panzu comes onto the field for Luton.
Absolutely, replacing Jordan Clark.
Clark, yes, to come off. And Clark's worked hard. Not been an easy afternoon for anybody in a Luton shirt. He's one of the ones who's been a little brighter, perhaps, than one or two others. Well, I don't think anybody will take any positives out of this one, Paul.
No, it's difficult. From Luton's point of view, I think that this is a very bad day at the office at a very bad time in the season. But it is just one game. They could get it out of their system quickly. Whether or not Rob Edwards wants to take the sort of Sergeant Major approach this afternoon after the game and then sort of let the players digest it and then forget about it, whether he wants to be a bit more sort of forensic about it in the week, that'll be down to him. He's certainly been able to sort of rally his players after poor performances or big defeats already this season, and he's going to have to do it again here as Brentford getting ready to make a double change here with Ukrainian midfielder Yeho Yarmolyuk and French forward Neil Mopai getting ready to come on.
Yeah, the substitutions will be Visser, who's come close to a hat-trick but will settle for 2 in the end. Matthias Jensen, who's worked particularly well down his side of the field today, so he will be replaced, as you say. Mopai to come on. No rush from anybody to get on the field or off the field at the moment. Luton won't really care in that sense. Yarmolyuk will come on as well for the visitors as Johan Visser. Excellent performance for him, particularly that first goal. That was a stunning finish, wasn't it?
Superb, yeah. Hitting it on the run, first time, lifting it over the goalkeeper. Really was a great finish from him, but Mopai is on now to get around 8 minutes plus injury time as Brentford fighting to win this ball back in midfield, and they do. It was actually a foul. I think it was a foul on Yarmolyuk from Hashioka, so a free kick to Brentford just inside Luton territory.
Yeah, they don't need to rush to take it. They'll take their time over this one, tick the clock down a few more minutes as the ball eventually is chipped forward. There's nobody actually covering properly. Janelt has space to pick up possession, and then he tries to force a throw in, but the ball comes off the Brentford man last and out of play for a throw deep inside the Luton half on their right-hand side. Hashioka wanders a few yards down the sideline, tries to throw it to Morris, but overcooks it a little. But Morris does well to win it back and finds Barkley. There's only one man in front of him, only Dimmer's there. There's nobody on the left-hand side where the space is. Doherty was still sitting back defending, and then Barkley tries to change the angle over to the right, overhits it again, and the pass goes astray for Brentford, but finds its way to Mbeumo down that right-hand side. He's got players in front of him. If he can find them, the ball threaded through, but Osho is there, racing back from deep. Does really well this time. We've been critical of him a couple of times in this game. That was excellent defending to get back across before Mopai could maybe slot home a fifth.
Mopai was looking for that fifth, wasn't he? It starts at the edge of the Brentford penalty area. Mopai just with that little flick onto Mbeumo, making sure that it does reach his teammate. But again, I mean, I'm not surprised that Luton have left gaps at the back now, because, of course, they are trying to get at least something back in this game. But it's going to be another set piece here for Brentford.
It is from their right-hand side. Sure gets a shake of the hand from his captain, Carlton Morris, for the effort that he's putting in, even at 4-0 down. The effort is to try and keep the goals scored down any further to avoid more degradation of the goal difference situation for Luton. already bad enough as the ball is in towards the near post, headed away. Shot comes in from the edge of the box from Roslev, but never really any conviction to it, was he? Just kind of poked it back towards goal.
No, it's a shame, I think, because as I say, nobody was closing him down, so he had enough time. You could see a few smiles on the Brentford bench. Perhaps Roslev has a bit of a reputation for not being the club's most natural goal scorer. And I think, the way he flicks that with a sort of a lazy left foot, where he's far more right-footed, is potentially proof of that fact. But certainly, with the way the game is, Brentford won't mind too much, and they've won possession back here in midfield. It's a quick ball down the right-hand side for Yarmolyuk, and may still be a chance here now for Roslev.
This time he pulls it back across the edge of the penalty area, but it's cleared away. Roslev with 2 goals in 5 seasons. So yes, as you say, hardly prolific.
No, and he has scored. He actually has scored in the last sort of month or two, although it was a bundled effort over the line. Which they all count, of course, but the point is that it's not his first thought is to get goals. He's had a few assists over the years at Brentford. As we're getting word of a couple of big goals being scored in the Championship, potentially a 3rd goal for Swansea away at Huddersfield, and potentially a late winner for Bristol City as well. Yeah,
we should keep an eye on those for confirmation, but those are the initial indications that might be coming through. Certainly the Swansea goal is now confirmed, 3-0. A real sickener for Huddersfield, and still in the bottom 3 in the Championship, of course, and Norwich City opening the door a little for Hull, who find themselves 0-0, but the ball forward into the penalty area, pulled back on this occasion to the left-hand side, and Schade is there, nobody marking him, no cover down that side of the field, and he lashes the ball left-footed across the face of goal into the far corner, easy as you like. Brentford 5-0 up.
Brentford are 5-0 up, and it was almost like they were taking it. They were trying to work out who was eventually going to get that goal, because Mope was very close to tapping it in himself. But I think in terms of returning from long-term injury and the very difficult season that Schade has had, in fact, the very difficult time he's had in England, really, since he's arrived, it's a big, big goal for him, that, and he'll be very, very pleased to have scored that. But once again, it's 6s and 7s here for Luton at the back. Brentford start on the halfway line with Mbeumo. He got the pass from Mope, and he looks up to see what options there are. He easily skips away from Barkley. Really has had a poor afternoon. Then he rolls that one in towards Janelt. Janelt acting like the true midfielder. They're playing it square. I think Mope fancied a bit of a go at this himself, but he could see Schade was coming in a better position, and he just let Schade bang it into an empty net.
Yeah, exactly. Literally an empty goal. Kaminski had come forward, having to try and make the block, as you say, on the run through from Janelt. And it came right across. Schade did well coming in quickly.
I mean, it's fair to say Luton have had a very bad afternoon, but from Brentford's perspective, the fact that they can get 5 away from home with no Ivan Toney in the squad is also good news.
Absolutely. It's been a very, very good performance from Brentford, as you say. The question marks will be more about Luton, but from a Brentford point of view, outstanding today. Absolutely outstanding. They've worked hard, they've defended really well, and they have been ruthless in front of goal. And again, it's given away by Luton. Mope is going to try one from the halfway line now, just to see on the off chance he can chip one over the top of Kaminski.
He got it on target. The trouble was that the effort from Mope was pretty much at chest height by the time it arrived in the 6-yard box. It was very easy for Kaminski.
Yeah, but why not have a go? If you can't have a go at 5-0 up with 3 minutes left, when can you, as the phrase goes? So Doherty battling for it again, and Mbeumo is off. Then he's dragged to the floor. And I think, to be honest with you, that's the case of Alfie Doherty. I'm fed up of chasing you today. I'm just going to bring you down. I really can't be bothered.
There's a few social media accounts that highlight sort of bad challenges and players that have too many skills just getting kicked up in the air. And I think, although Mbeumo wasn't doing anything to sort of take the mick there, I think just the fact that he's had a real battle with Doherty afternoon, I think he just had enough. Right, he's not getting past, but just grabbed him by the shirt and just threw him to the ground. As a 4th goal, Swansea City absolutely hammering Huddersfield Town now. And although we did get word of a potential winner for Bristol City, it never came, so it's still 1-1 there between Norwich and Bristol City.
Yeah, still 0-0 between Watford and Hull. In the other game, as Hull were trying to hunt down Norwich, so they may have missed the opportunity to close the gap on the Canaries. Forward come Brentford again with players in numbers, shot from distance. He's miles away from the goal on this occasion as Regulion finds some space, and it's just shooting practice now for Brentford as we tick into the final couple of minutes. Regulion smiles at 1 or 2 players in front of him and around him on that occasion. He hasn't actually scored for Brentford for this season in the Premier League, so I suppose why not have a shot as well, as Kaminski takes a clearance downfield. I've seen the ball flash past him 5 times. No criticism of the goalkeeper particularly at all this afternoon. The players in front of him who've been soundly beaten on this occasion. Schade again spins away from another challenge into the penalty area, looking for a 6 and a second for him. He pulls it back across, straight into the hands of Kaminski on this occasion. Slight element of frustration for the Brentford man, but not too much with his side dominating. And here's Barkley, deep inside his own half of the field. Again, the pressure comes, though. He gets a foul on this occasion. Gets caught on the back of the heels by Janelt, but it will be a free kick to Luton, deep inside their own half. The ball forward to Szczerbakowicz down that right-hand side. He can't find a way out, though. Luton players looking for somebody to pass to, and there's no movement at all. Luton have, I'm afraid to say, have shut up shop as far as this game's concerned now. Doherty's the same. He wants some movement in front of him, but really there's just no energy left in this Luton side now. They're just going to have to play out these last few minutes and do what they can as Doherty chips the ball downfield. Onyedinma will try and chase it down, but it's hooked away by Collins up towards the halfway line. Half cleared. Brentford, though, win it straight back, and Mbeumo again on the right-hand side tries to spin a ball into the path of Mopa. He can't do so. Osho tidies it up. In the end, it's picked up again by Luton on the halfway line. Ball back by Mpanzu. Looks forward as Osho, then behind him, but there's no way for anybody to pass it to. It's all a little bit too tight as Doherty gets his head down and races away down the left-hand side. Roslev will stay with him. Doherty steps inside, looks at his options. There aren't too many. Tries to thread it into the path of Onyedinma, but it's cleared away. And Mbeumo gets there first, and Mbeumo brought down. It will be a free kick to Brentford, deep inside their own half of the field. Brentford who'd lost 9 of their past 11 league fixtures, just with 1 win and 1 draw in between those. So it's 2 wins and a very comfortable one as well, which opens the gap up towards, away from, I should say, the bottom 3.
Yeah, it's a big result this for Brentford. Just to remind you, that one of Brentford's biggest wins in their history came back in 2019 when they beat Luton 7-0 in a championship game. That was, of course, back at Griffin Park, but this will certainly be one of their biggest away wins for some time here for Thomas Frank's side. So we've got 4 minutes of the 5 of injury time still to play. And fabulous afternoon for Brentford, but from Luton Town's point of view, they really have to get this performance, the way they've conceded the goals, the way they've just folded against the Brentford team that have barely been able to manage to get any team to fold this season. So they've got to get all of that out of their system as quickly as possible, because there's still a huge job here for Luton, of course.
Yeah, could be news of a big goal in the Championship. We'll keep an eye on that as we tick into the final few minutes of this game, which is done and dusted, really, in terms of the 3 points. But we see whether we can see anything. Never leave before the end. You might see a cracking goal. Something unusual might happen. So stay with us for a few minutes as Luton get on the ball. Berry into the penalty area, around the keeper, and scores. Well, there you are. You've seen a Luton goal, at least late on in the game. Lovely finish from Lou Berry in the end. Gets plenty of space as the ball goes astray inside the Brentford half of the field. Races away, skips past the goalkeeper, who, having got on the wrong side, doesn't make too much effort because he knows he might give away a penalty. No reaction at all from Rob Edwards, not surprisingly. It's 5-1.
It is 5-1. Well, the way Brentford have been defending this season, I suppose it was too much for us, for them to even today, for them to keep a clean sheet. As we see, it's a terrible ball from Janelt. He plays it, stabs the ball square at the edge of his own box. Luke Berry picks up on that mistake and is able to punish that. I mean, it's awful from Janelt. We want to forget that. And it's a real shame because he's actually had a very good game in defensive midfield today. Yeah,
he's been excellent all through, and that is a frustration for him. A little bit of concentration lapse there, not surprisingly, with a bit of tiredness coming in. But in the Premier League, even with the side struggling in this game as they have been Luton, they will try and punish it and have at least got 1 back. If nothing else, 5 minutes of stoppage time to be played. We're already 3 minutes into it. Full time in the Championship. It's finished Watford 0, Hull 0. Derby have won at 1-0 at Cambridge, which I think is their promotion back to the Championship as well from League One, although Bolton have won as well. And looking at it, Cardiff have gone 2-1 up against Southampton. Big result. Big cheers from Leeds, Ipswich and Leicester coming into my ears from around the country as they finish at 2-1. Well, not finished, sorry, actually. They're still playing. 8 minutes of stoppage time played there. Still going in South Wales, but it's Cardiff who lead by 2-1, so no victory at least for the Saints. Here come Brentford again, looking for a 6, and Mbeumo towards the edge of the box, gets a strike in. Can't keep it down. Full time at Bramall Lane. It's finished Sheffield United 1, Burnley 4, which of course massively condenses the gap as well between Luton and Burnley towards the bottom end of the table. So more nervousness around Kenilworth Road. Not only have they been beaten comfortably today, They've also ended up in a situation where the team below them have started to close the gap as well. I think it might be 2 points, the gap, by the end of play, if that's the case. Full time in the Championship as well. Huddersfield roundly beaten by Swansea by 4-0. Birmingham still playing at Rotherham after that delay in the first half for a medical emergency there. Birmingham look like they're picking up a point. Rotherham 0, Birmingham 0. We have a minute left in our game, and Brentford trying to press again through Schade, but it's cleared away by Hashioka towards the halfway line. Headers come in, ball breaks away, and suddenly Brentford could be on the attack. They've got 4 or 5 players forward. If they can find a space, they won't, because there's a foul by Mengi midway inside his own half of the field. Again, he kind of takes one for the team. Referee doesn't bother on this occasion getting the yellow card out. It wasn't too bad a foul, to be fair, as Janelt got it forward into a central position, just caught on the ankles as he came across field. Wasn't really driving towards the penalty area at that point, so the last chance probably of the game.
Yeah, you would think this will be the last chance of the afternoon. We're over the 5 minute. We will be over the 5 minute mark by the time this free kick is taken. It's in a central position, so both the left and the right footers might fancy a go, and it's Mbeumo and Mope standing over it.
Yep, and it's a long way out, but I suspect there's a shot coming here, Paul, with a few seconds left, and you're winning 5-1. I cannot imagine anybody's just going to play around with this. Mope plays in there as well. We shall see who finally takes the strike. Referee sorting out. What is he sorting out? There's a ball on the back.
There was a spare ball on top of the net. That's right. Someone had thrown that in from the crowd. But now Kaminski's told to move that ball from behind the net so it doesn't distract the referee. Eventually he gets it out of the way. And come on, ref, we can now see
four boys, come on, get this sorted, lads. Come on. Okay, free kick. Let's go for it then. Central position, about 30 yards out. Will be a strike on goal, I am absolutely sure. And the referee finally sorts it out. Mbeumo steps up, just flicks it inside. Shot comes in, miles over the crossbar. Terrible free kick in the end from Mope. Doesn't matter because that is literally the last action of the game. The whistle blows. It's a very comfortable and very important 3 points of victory for Brentford as they take the win by 5-1.